Where do you stand on Tommy Robinson? He's just had the location of his hotel revealed in the papers. He's not happy about that.
It's funny, lots of people ask me this, and the truth is I don't know. It's complicated. Look, I think that when he first burst onto the scene, there was an element of thuggery about it. There was something that made, he approached things with all the delicacy of a claw hammer. Yeah. I think he then went away and learnt lessons and decided he wanted to continue what he was doing and sort of remodeled himself and was making arguments that no one else was prepared to make. And so I started to think, and also, again, snobbery, classism. This man is not a sort of, university educated orator. He doesn't necessarily always get the pleasantries and the protocols and the taboos, and frankly, probably doesn't care about them, which is how he manages to communicate with other people, where our politicians like Sir Keir Starmer clearly are getting that very wrong. And so I think that he's played a very important role in many respects. Now, in recent days, however, when it's quite clear things are absolutely going out of control to a dangerous level, at that point anybody should be stepping back and not dousing the flames. And I think that he's made some, either they be errors of judgment or reckless moves in the last few days, where as everybody's tempers are at absolute boiling points, he's continued to post things that will continue to spur people on.
What kind of thing has he been posting?
He's continuing, posting things. And I think as well, these people don't fact check. They don't check the source of the material they're going to be reposting. And so posting more and more content, but did you know this woman got stabbed by these 3 Muslims? Things like that. That was a particular story that wasn't even true. When all hell is breaking loose, you don't keep throwing more,
But I think he did say something to suggest, this is no good, these riots.
Yeah, but this is the thing. We are judging Tommy Robinson as if he's Kofi Annan. He's not. Okay, so I think we've got to be realistic about that and realize that the people who like him and are listening to him and are following him are doing so because no one else is talking to them or standing up for them. So I'm not going to stand here and say there's something malign or evil or horrible about that man or reprehensible. I'm also not going to turn around and condone every single thing he's done and say he's a hero. You can have things that are mutually exclusive and true simultaneously, okay? And I think that actually, rather than people, Tommy bashing, perhaps they need to ask why it is that this man has got 1 million followers.
I think they want to believe that because everyone's racist.
Of course they do, but I don't know what. Do you know what I don't understand with our political classes, the media class, the communications class, as I call them, whether it's marketing, advertising, PR, journalism, the arts. I think in order to get where they are in those particular industries, this is spreading out to most industries now. In order to get where they are, they've had to follow taboos and conventions that change all the time to climb up that greasy pole. And in doing so, they've had to sort of be gaslit and gaslight. And I think a lot of these people have done it to such an extent that they actually can't see anymore. They don't know. When you try speaking to these people and say, but hold on, this is how other people see things. This is how the working class might see things. This is the reality of the situation. Look, there are Muslim militias. Here's some video evidence. They can't see it. They've almost disabled themselves somehow. They've brainwashed themselves. I don't think people like Sir Keir Starmer sitting there going, I'm going to really mess this country up even more by failing to understand the plight of the working classes. I think somehow he is absolutely convinced of what he's saying. And this is the case with so many people out there. They're convinced of these things. They're convinced that there is a huge amount of injustice and that white people are terrible and that minorities are all victims. And, these sort of broad brushstroke, unnuanced generalizations that sort of adhere to some neo-religious moral hierarchy that we've all supposed to have learnt overnight and imbued overnight. They believe in it so much, they cannot see beyond it. They're staggered if you ever put real information in front of their eyes, like the Cass report on puberty blockers. Yeah. I mean, wow, science. All of a sudden we can see that we shouldn't be giving experimental medicine to children who are being brainwashed by things on social media. I mean, to me, that's common sense, yet it's amazing quite how many professionals just couldn't see it. And I don't think it's that they didn't want to see it. They just can't. They've gone too far down the rabbit hole somehow.
Yeah, they say journalists are the most overeducated people. Batya Unga Sargon, when she wrote this great book, an American woman, about the sort of working class, I should say, and I can't remember what it's called exactly. But she goes around talking to working class people, and just amazing. None of them buy into this woke stuff. They don't feel like they're victims. They just want to work and earn a decent living and for things to be fair. That's all they want. And it's just the opposite to what the likes of Keir actually imagine of them.
So many of our industries have become unnecessarily professionalised. Yeah. Journalism used to be an industry where you could leave school at 15, go be an apprentice at the local newspaper, learn how to do shorthand, thank you. I'm a journalist and I never learnt it.
I did. I had
to.
Did
you?
Yeah, I'm overeducated.
Can you still do it now?
No, I could give it a go. It's like all the dots and beeps and things.
What was your journalism school?
Oh, Lambeth College. It was like a free one.
Oh, rubbish. It wasn't Cardiff or City then. It wasn't one of the big boys.
Is that one of the big? Is that like a big? Yeah,
there's like the Oxford and Cambridge of journalism.
But I get to have like a hard knocks story.
Right.
I got through it despite going to a really posh private school beforehand.
But back in the day, journalism was something working classes did actually.
Yeah.
Proper hacks. And those people are invested in their communities. They listen to people. They can communicate with people. They have a journalistic instinct. Now it's become professionalized. And so a bit like when people went to work in the city as traders and things like that. It could be Barrow Boys. Yeah. Go make a load of money because you had a good instinct for this. Now everyone has to have gone through university, and not just that, compete with people from all around the world for a lot of these jobs as well. And so everyone's been sort of pushed through this same prism that ends up being an echo chamber, highly influenced by wealth and by class. And also what's staggering is the amount of people who come from a working class background and suddenly find themselves in the middle class and have sort of surrounded themselves with the communities and the trappings of the middle class and can't ever look behind them at what they once were. They lose
pull
it
the ladder
somehow.
Up behind them.
Yeah, they pull the ladder up. That I always find very strange when they suddenly become ashamed of it. I'm kind of the opposite. I'm a lorry driver's daughter, and you'll never take that away from me. I feel happier in a Wetherspoons, quite frankly, than I do in a private members club. They're my people.